presses. Kick us off, Quinn.
Oh, yeah. We're going to kick it off with some fun. We got a whole bag of great stuff here, but we're going to kick it off with some fun.
Okay.
How about this? The Bob's Burgers Music Album 2, the Super Deluxe box set.
Get out of town.
Look at this thing. It's got 90 songs. 90 songs from the show.
Good Lord.
You know, you got lyric sheets. You got a hardbound book, I believe. Posters. I mean, it is classic fan nerd stuff.
This is deep. This is deep nerd.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, look at this. It weighs a ton.
Yeah. It's the coffee table book that's also a coffee.
Thanks to our friends at Fox and Sub Pop for putting this together.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So the first one never really stopped selling. Like it sold like consistently. Usually there's an arc to new releases where they kind of top out after a while. They kind of
right.
This thing just keeps on going and going and going.
Who would have thought?
I know.
That's crazy.
You know, if you're trying to guesstimate what people are, it's going to resonate with people, you're going to be wrong.
You're going to be wrong. I'm wrong every time.
And if the ginormous box set isn't enough for you, there's also a double cassette.
A little
Bob's Burgers soundtrack with 2 tapes in there. They're yellow and red.
The cassette renaissance has begun, y'all.
Ketchup and mustard for you.
Get out. That's so cool. What the? It
It really is.
I love it. Oh, hey, before we get too far, so for you guys that are watching, we are going to start something new.
All right.
Question of the day. And you guys could tell us what your answers are. Feel free to jump in the comment section. So what's your favorite movie soundtrack? Now, we're not talking score.
No score.
We're talking
random songs assembled to create the background
compilation of artists.
Perfect setting for a film that you love.
So that means
or maybe you don't love the film, you just like the soundtrack.
The soundtrack. So I have to ask you, because I've got several, but depending on what you say, I'll know what I can say. So what is your favorite?
Well, you know, when we were talking about this, one of the first things that popped in my mind, and it's because of my age, it's because I went to high school. I love that Grosse Pointe Blank soundtrack.
Oh, it's killer. That's so good.
Great. I love
so good.
Every song on that thing. It's like that is good music supervision in a film because it's like
it fits perfectly, and they weave it into the radio station, and
they grabbed all the crap that I was listening to when I went to high school.
You're like, they're in my mind.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I'm maybe a lot older than you, so I am going to pick the soundtrack that was my Grosse Pointe soundtrack.
Okay,
Pretty in Pink.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, that song is epic. There's a bunch of good music.
There's a bunch of good music on that, man. It's like I can put it on today and listen to the whole thing, start to finish.
You know, all those 80s film soundtracks and, you know, John Hughes, and it really, I mean, music was an integral part of that.
They nailed it. Fast Times, you know, they just nailed.
Dang. Okay.
All right, back to business. All right, new releases.
Okay, let's talk about this. This is the 25th anniversary of DJ Shadow's introducing album, which is one of the most important instrumental hip hop records out there, universally acclaimed. I think it's like 10 out of 10 on Pitchfork and on All Music and all that. I mean, it's one of those records. If you don't feel you need to own it, you gotta hear it because it's one of those records that really changed the sound of popular music. It's super cool. It's part of this new Abbey Road Studios remastering series where they're doing a half-speed master, and that's where they're actually rolling the tape with the lathe cutting the plates for the record at half speed, so it really picks up all the nuances.
I didn't even know anything about that process. That's amazing.
It was a big trend in the 70s, and it's making a comeback.
It's insane.
Yeah, and you usually see it they'll do the extra for an anniversary issue or something like that. But I've always loved this cover because it's in a record store with we always have dogs at the store. But check out, there's a dog in here right now. There's 2 of them actually. Yeah. But there's a cat sitting on top of the record bin right there.
Yeah. And DJ Shadow, one of the great crate diggers.
Absolutely.
You know, he did the documentary on Kashmir, the Kashmir Stage Band, right? Wasn't it DJ Shadow? Because he found the album somewhere in like New York or something, because the Kashmir Stage Band would record an album, I think, every year.
Right. Well, I know that, and those are big Crate Digger records. Those are like Houston's known.
But he got so
Jamie Foxx put the money for it, but
I think it was DJ Shadow.
He may
And
have
of course,
done
featured, the prof, the band director.
Conrad Johnson.
Conrad Johnson, yeah. If you've never seen it, look it up. Kashmir Stage Band, DJ Shadow, it'll come up.
Oh, and there's also a 7-inch to go with this that has different mixes of music with Cut Chemist and then drops and loops and scratches. I think they did that just because they thought it was fun, and they put this kooky looking guy on the cover.
Jeez.
You can find him at a record store for sure.
Yes, sir. Indeed, you can. I love that. That's
okay.
Fantastic. All right.
Moving right along, there's a new Migos record. They haven't had a record since 2018. I mean, this is usually rappers are pretty quick to drop music, but this has not been out there straightening needs to hit. There's several tracks that have been out there and big. Some guests on there: Future, Juice WRLD, Justin Bieber, Cardi B, Drake, Pop Smoke. I mean, everybody.
Lots of folks.
Everybody. So that's going to be.
I've mentioned this before. You longtime or watchers of the drop know. I can rewatch it a million times. The Carpool Karaoke with Migos is the best thing ever. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
I don't know that I've seen it.
Oh
I've seen a bunch of them, but I don't think I've seen it.
So good.
All right. I'll put that on my list. Flying Lotus. Flying Lotus is, I mean, what is it? I mean, kind of devised genre. You know, it's spacey, it's cool. It's on Warp Records, so it's dancey, it's hip-hoppy,
it's everything.
So this is a soundtrack to a Netflix original film. It's about an African-American samurai. And, you know, a lot of his music I would describe as cinematic. So this is, and it's getting great reviews. I don't really know that much about the show, but music's obviously pretty cool. I'm looking forward to listening to that.
I haven't even seen the trailer for this yet, and I watch more Netflix than any human being should.
It snuck up on me too. Sometimes they'll put the music, if it's a big artist, they'll put the music out in advance because if the music's great, they will.
Helps the buzz.
It'll
helps drive it.
Yeah.
Did you see the Netflix show talking about great music and really curated perfectly for a film? I mean, for a series. I can't say one of the words in the title, but End of the Effing World. Did you see it?
We did not.
The British series.
I've heard it's great.
It's really great. And the music, I had my phone in my hand the whole time just Shazamming artists. Yeah, I was like, what is that? And it was just fantastic, man. It was just.
That is cool. I'll get catch up to that.
Yeah,
now, this is a kooky.
Go.
In advance of the Metallica blacklisted multi-disc covers album of Metallica songs.
It's wearing thin on me.
These are two words that don't really go together that often. Metallica and remix 12-inch. So there's a remix of
the Black Album
by Sebastian. Don't Tread On. I think it's a mashup between those two.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because it looks like wasn't Injustice this way?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what's going on
so
here?
Don't Tread on Me and some
Nothing Else Matters.
I want to hear it. It's a kooky idea. But mashups are big.
It's so weird.
It's ringing.
Yeah. Come on, we're on the street.
So anyway, so we'll see, and of course, we'll be talking more about that covers project coming.
Yes,
which is crazy. Throwing this in here. This is part of
really
an ongoing, great band, Steven Wilson, who a lot of fans got to meet him at Cactus when we did a signing with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy, people were.
I bet. Yeah, this is one of those guys. If you're into him, you're really into him.
You are.
You know.
But probably the most important progressive rock band of the modern era.
Oh, absolutely.
And for people that don't know, Steven Wilson's a genius musician who's actually
composer, guitarist, keyboardist. Yeah. Yeah,
and actually he's a great remix engineer and has remastered record recordings by some of his favorite artists. Like, he did the Jethro Tull records. He's done King Crimson records. But so I just want to feature this as just one in a whole series of records that are coming back out because they were never widely available before. Yeah. And they've got a lot of fans.
I've never even seen a copy of it. That's really good. That's a good one, man. Yeah. This dude's great.
Now, this is interesting. We always feature jazz records. These are notable because these are two watershed records that came out in 1964. And
the year I was born.
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
So you got Herbie Hancock, Maiden Voyage, which I love this record.
Genius.
And Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch, which is another record that I like. I've given this record as a gift many times because it's, again, you got on these records, you got Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Hutcherson, Herbie Hancock, obviously, Ron Carter. But Freddie Hubbard's on both of them. And I think that these are broke out because they were cut around about the same sessions, but they've been doing these upgrades that are not so.
There's been a ton of
affordable, but they're doing these Blue Note Classic Vinyl series where you get them just in a regular jacket with the vinyl. For people that value the music over the packaging, you can pick these up at a more reasonable price. And 2 records, if you're trying to discover jazz, these are great places to jump in there.
There's a little jazz for your mind. Oh man, yeah, baby.
The Pixies, Trompe le Monde. Now this is kooky. This is gonna blow you away. 30th anniversary of this record.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Great album, great band. This is available for the first time in a while on vinyl, and it's on a 30th anniversary limited edition green vinyl.
So my Pixies story is first time I heard it, I loved it. I think K Cherry, you played it. Rice Radio was a thing back in the day. So I heard Where Is My Mind or something, right? Uh-huh. Immediately, what is this? I go somewhere and buy whatever Pixies was out at the time. And then, Surfer Rosa, Doolittle, Come On. What was the EP? The first one? Come On. Was it Come On?
Come On Pilgrim.
Come On Pilgrim. Was that the track or the name of it?
That's the
name of it. Yeah. So I had all that. So was there an album before this? Or was this after Doolittle? Not Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova's after that.
Bossa Nova's after this. What was before this?
Well, there's the EP, Surfer Rosa, and then what is Doolittle, and then this.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay. So it was the first time in my 2-3 year Pixies life where I had to kind of pump the brakes for a second because I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's very different.
It took me a minute to get into it. And then when I went back to it, I was like, and it took a while, I was like, all right, I can really listen to this.
Well, the cool thing is, even though they were associated with, with Electro, a major label, they were on 480. And they got to do whatever they wanted to. Yeah. It wasn't like you had major label people telling them what they do. So you could take risks. My Pixie store, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my colleagues here, Chuck from Vinyl Edge.
Yeah.
I was in his store when the EP came out, and I had read about it. And I asked him, is this good? He's like, oh, you got to have it.
Yeah.
So thanks, Chuck.
Well, hang on.
I'm hearing my past.
I know. There you are. Yeah. Our past is catching up to us. Maria Garza says, hello. Bawanda is also, okay. That's a little political, but okay. Noted. So let's go. Keep going because this thing, I don't know what this thing's doing.
Popular band, Bad Sons, they are reissuing, and they have a whole campaign around this record. This is their second record, Disappear Here. Again, another band that we had perform at the store, and I knew they were kind of popular, but we had a huge crowd at the store. For second albums for most bands, very difficult thing, right? You got your whole life,
slump.
Got your whole life to write the first album. You got
Correct.
6 months to write the second one.
That's it.
This is their breakthrough record, and generally revered as one of their best records. And so they did a live cast of them performing the whole album. They're going to tour this album. So finally back in Vagrant is also, their label's also celebrating their 25th anniversary. So if you like those guys,
I had the chance to interview the fellas on their first tour.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. They
were bringing good music.
They were really good. Yeah. I really enjoyed them.
I'm throwing this in there because people were talking about it. The Imagine Dragons record finally on vinyl weeks after the CD came out because these production issues aren't always the easiest to get stuff. Day and date is what they call it. When the CD is out the same day as the album.
Yeah. And these guys, have sold
a record or two.
Millions and millions and millions of records. My daughter likes them a lot. There you go.
My son likes them too.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, they're cool.
Imagine that.
They're cool. All right, I have a very shiny record. This might just blow up on YouTube right here. This very, very shiny record. And this record might look like it's from outer space or might go to space.
It does.
And that's because it's Angels and Airwaves.
Oh, did not know they had a new record.
Former Blink 182. This is his band post Blink 182.
Right. Tom DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge. And I imagine that this thing looks like it's from an alien culture because
For very good reason. Sure, because he's trying to make contact.
He's trying to make contact. He's obsessed.
He is a UFOologist, I believe.
Yeah, have you seen the J.J. Abrams show, that UFO show that's like kind of documenting everything with all the press releases and stuff?
Is it Netflix? Because I started watching one the other day, but I didn't know it was JJ.
Yeah, he produced it.
Love JJ Abrams.
But yeah, anyway. So new record for them. It's been a minute, so I think fans will be into that.
I like it. Highly anticipated new album. It says it right
I
there.
mean, come on.
It right there.
We've been waiting on it. Okay, I'm throwing this in. This is a reissue of an earlier record by this guy, but I thought it'd be good to include him. You know, Gary Numan. We love Gary Numan. You know, Cars, the Pleasure Principle album. So he was supposed to play this week.
Canceled.
Right. Show's postponed to February. So I'm plugging his show for next year. They've been reissuing his records. This is a guy that it's easy to say, "Oh, I love that old album from back in the day." But he's consistently made really solid records.
You know this. He played Warehouse Live like 5 years ago or something. In fact, this morning I was talking to a friend of mine who at the time was working with them in booking, and they said, they were like, Gary Numan, we're booking Gary Numan. She said sold out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Immediately.
Yeah, he has a bunch of loyal fans. It puts a ton of money into his show.
A friend of mine went to that show. He said he was amazing.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier that go see him if you like him at all. Next up, this is a very cool record. I probably should have sequenced it with the Metallica record, but Rodrigo and Gabriela.
Oh yeah.
If you like guitars,
flamenco duo, right?
Yeah, brother and sister duo. Very cool. This is a covers EP that they put out. It's their metal and jazz cover EP. So you've got Megadeth tracks, Slayer, Metallica, and then on the jazz side, you got Astor Piazzolla, Snarky Puppy, and Kamasi Washington. Yeah. So this is this is fun. You're looking for something different.
Yes.
This is cool. Vinyl coming on this.
Love
Got
Kamasi
here
Washington.
Keeping it in the guitar. Acoustic vein, Billy Strings. This is his second record for Rounder, and for people that aren't familiar with him, he is a bluegrass prodigy.
Terrifying guitar player.
Absolutely, and he kind of vaulted to kind of the front of the pack, I think, because he's a cute guy and girls really like him.
Doesn't hurt.
He's checking the
boxes.
Cute guy box as well as being an insane musician.
Yeah.
And the last record was fantastic. Topped all kinds of best lists.
Yeah.
So a lot of anticipation about this record, even though it doesn't say it on the cover. Yeah. Okay. One of our favorite artists around the store, Esperanza Spalding. Insane bass player.
Are we just going to go like virtuoso?
We are
the rest
right now.
Of the box.
For right now we are. And so I would call her a jazz artist, but she crosses as many jazz artists.
Yeah. She can do it all.
She can do it all.
Yeah.
Stand-up bass player, electric bass player, big in music education. Her parents were involved in that, but she's a 4-time Grammy winner. I mean,
is she like a chair at Berkeley?
Yeah.
Or something?
In Harvard too. She's like a lecturer at Harvard too. I mean, just class A musician. And all her records are very different.
Yes.
We get excited when she has a new record.
Yeah.
And
she's a real artist.
This one is called Songwrites Apothecary Lab. So say that 3 times.
Amen to that.
Three times real time. Real fast.
Amen to that. Yeah. Yeah.
We're keeping the staff favorites rolling with Colleen Green.
Okay.
So Colleen has made a couple of records. I love this record because it reminds me of a lot of the 90s records like by Juliana Hatfield and Liz Phair. It's very upbeat, fun, kooky lyrics, and just groovy, very kind of Velvet Underground inspired. And, she's great. Every time we play that record in the store, people are
there you go.
that?
You can discover your new favorite artist for $7.98. If you've got a question, you can call the store. You can just call Cactus and say, "Hey."
The request lines are now.
Open. There you go.
We got another shiny record. I should have packed just with the Angels and the Airwaves.
Sunglasses.
Brittany Howard. She had this monstrously critically acclaimed record. This very personal record, Jaime, that came out. I guess it's almost 2 years ago. This is the songs from the record reimagined, remixed by other artists. This record really touched a bunch of people based on, confessional nature of it, about her personal life experience, and
really cool.
I'm a big fan of Alabama Shakes. I thought this record was great. I want to hear what she's going to do next. I'm sure there's something coming.
Yeah, she's got her own thing happening. I saw, the only time I've ever seen Alabama Shakes was at Austin City Limits. It was like 6 or 7 years ago, and it was probably one of the great missed opportunities, because I don't think the festival knew that they were going to be as hot, and they were on a small stage at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Whoops.
You couldn't get near that stage. Like, I literally was doing this for 10 minutes just to be able to see her.
And that's hard to do because everybody's like,
yeah,
boogie.
and it was it was ridiculous, and they were so good. And this one also, reading here, featuring Childish Gambino, Bon Iver, Common, Michael, Kiwanuka, Little Dragon, and more. That's right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool record, and man, we're gonna be talking about her for decades to come. She is.
Yeah. What was that? What was the three? She did a trio for a little while. They played Heights Theater. What was that called?
It had. I guess we can say that it's got the B word in it.
Okay, we'll just let it go.
I don't want to get it. But I can't remember.
I don't want to get anybody.
Yeah, but it was like a hard rocking thing.
Yeah, everything she does is amazing.
Tribute records. Some tribute records aren't as great as other tribute records. I'm excited about this one. A tribute to the Velvet Underground. I'll Be Your Mirror. Got a banana on the cover, and this one's shiny too. What's happening? There's something happening here. This has got a bunch of currently hot independent artists. You got Sharon Van Etten,
love her.
Andrew Bird, Kurt Vile, St. Vincent, Courtney Barnett, and Iggy Pop and Matt Sweeney. Matt Barrett, Bernier from The National.
Yeah.
So I think this record's going to connect with people. I think that the true service and point of tribute records is to turn people on to the original article.
Right.
And hopefully there's a bunch of great performances on here to steer people to pick up VU records. VU sells a lot of records, but this should do it.
Matt Sweeney's got a new thing. What is it? Bad Wolves? Wolves that he's doing. I've heard a couple of tracks. Pretty good. He's always a little different, and I like that about him.
It's artistry, man.
Yeah.
Keep changing it up.
I like a little bit about it. I like that. Anyway.
Okay, this is a twofer here because there is oddly enough, released on the same day, same label and everything. There is a Steely Dan live album, The Northeast Corridor.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's their first live album in over 25 years.
Recorded when?
Hello. This is it lists the performances 2021. I don't know. I think it's the Donald Fagen exclusive lineup of it is what I think. I think this is after Walter Becker passes. And then you also have...
There is no bad Steely Dan, so it doesn't... for me, I like it all.
I'm not weighing in on the Steely Dan.
Wow.
I'm not weighing in.
Wow.
Donald Fagen, The Nightfly, live record. His
I remember when that came
celebrated
out.
Recording. And, that was one of the first digital recordings, if I'm remembering.
Was it really?
Right. I think so.
God.
So 2 new live things if you're looking for some Dan music, Dan-related product. There you go.
There was a single off of this, right? I think there was even a video that MTV played.
Yes. It was called... Like that.
Was it The Nightfly? No.
I thought it was that
IGY? Okay, whatever.
All right, next act.
Yes.
Probably holding down the title as the best husband and wife rhythm section.
I'd say they're way, and of course we're talking about the great Tina Weymouth and Chris Franz, right?
Yeah, Tom Tom Club from tons of one of the most sampled for hip hop music.
Oh, absolutely,
records.
Absolutely,
ever. Woody Rappington and the records are super cool. Those are like such fun summer records. guys are great. This is our first new recordings in quite a while. I wanted to feature this record because it's part of the 10 Bands, One Cause promotion that happens every year. 10 artists release their albums on pink vinyl, and it benefits Gilda's House in New York. Great charity.
It's fantastic.
Breast cancer.
It's fantastic.
And and they're limited editions. They always sell out. And so there's a new one from, this is their brand new album is coming out this way. And then there'll be a regular edition.
So later. Cool.
We're going to end with some Peace and Love.
Let's do it.
Because that's what this guy is about.
Yes.
Peace and Love. Ringo of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Has a new EP. Change the World. And I think he's been trying to do that for a long time. Yeah, it's cool, man. The interesting thing is he's turned this corner, and now, he's writing all the material and producing all the material and playing most of the instruments on the material. It's kind of one of the more remarkable trajectories and late, twilight years renaissance of a musician from back in the day. What comes out from behind the drum.
Ringo's become very in fashion lately. He's mentioned in the new in the Netflix documentary Count Me In, all the drummers. It's fantastic. It's Taylor Hawkins, Stephen Perkins, who I think was from James, which was the driving force. Chad Smith is in it, a couple of lesser known, but they'll go off on how Keith. They do a whole thing on Keith Moon. Sure. They do a whole thing on Bonham, and then they spend a lot of time with Ringo. It's what people didn't understand about. We look back on it now, and it was this. It's the way the swing, and it was just behind the beat, or just whatever. It's just all this cool stuff. I interviewed Ray Wiley Hubbard when his album came out, and we talked about Ringo a lot because he recorded at Ringo's place. And because Ringo told him, he goes, we should do something. He goes, the next time in LA, let's do something. He goes, I get to LA, call Ringo, I leave him a voicemail. My phone rings 20 minutes later. He's like, come on over. And they actually recorded something that day. That's so awesome. I can't remember. And then he's got, who else was on? Joe Walsh came over. Oh, yeah. Joe Walsh played on that. And from the Black Crowes, Chris Robinson. Oh, wow. And Ray goes, I'm the only guy that's ever had a crow, an eagle, and a beetle.
Oh, my gosh.
On an album.
He is so funny.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was fantastic. And the single is great.
Yeah. Ringo's not been returning my calls.
Really? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't have his number. So, you're way, way ahead of me. All right, we're going to do the question of the day one more time in case anybody wants to jump in. And the question was, what is your favorite movie soundtrack? Not a score. This is a soundtrack that would feature multiple artists. You had a good one.
Grosse Pointe Blank.
Grosse Pointe Blank. And I went with another one, which I think we were kind of high school era or late teens favorite, which was Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, the music you listen to when you're 16 or whatever, man, that sticks to you.
It's like a boilerplate, just you'll know that forever. Alice is watching, and she says hi. What's up, Alice? Alice is back. Jenny is here as well. What's up, Jenny? Good to see you. Guys, hit the share button. That's always good. That always helps me. Alice is considering her soundtrack album. Earlier, before we started doing this, I said the first one that came to mind when we were kicking around the question was to the movie FM, which was years and years and years ago, probably maybe even late 70s. But it had that Steely Dan track on it that I liked a lot, which was FM.
I have a kooky memory of that. I remember going into Foley's when they sold. No, it was it was Foley's when they sold records. Many fans. Yes. And they had that record. They had tons of that record. It was just a display of that record.
Back when department stores had sold albums. Alice says Dazed and Confused.
Oh, great pick.
That's a really good pick. And Viola Villanueva says, hi from Las Vegas, Nevada. Ooh. Hello to you. Hello to you. That's super cool. What's on the horizon? Anything big? Are we waiting on anything really, really cool?
There is, we're just in that season where there's just going to be a bunch of stuff.
A flood?
Yeah.
Did I see you guys post something about Record Store Black Friday?
Black Friday. Yeah, they just announced the list this week.
Talk about it.
We're looking at 150 150, 60 limited edition items, kind of a smaller version of Record Store Day, but it creates an opportunity if, bands and have stuff that's teed up, that's interesting and ready to go. It's a great way to kind of jump into the season and celebrate record stores and really drive. We have a very different vibe about the Black Friday thing where it used to be
Sure.
crowding into
Right.
big
Sure.
retail. We're all about just like loving music and celebrating record stores
Yep.
on that day. So there'll be a bunch of exclusive titles that you can only get at your favorite indie record store, and there's some kooky, awesome stuff coming out.
And you can get the perfect gift for that music nut in your life. Also, I want to mention, do you know about this guy?
No.
So Diego El Sigala is coming to the Arena Theater. That's going to be Friday, October 1st. He is a flamenco vocalist, and it's just him and his piano player. And he sings. He's from, I want to say he's from the Basque region of Spain. Nice. And he, these like love songs that are just like, it's just this, I can't even describe it.
It sounds cool. I got to check that out.
It like will just transport you into another dimension. He did
of love.
Yeah, he did. Once again, I am the broken record in the record store. Look him up. Watch his Tiny Desk concert. It will blow your mind.
I will do that. That's top of my list.
Sorry, I got emotional.
It's a great, enthusiastic recommendation. I love it.
All right, man, we're going to wrap this up. So get all of the new music release information that you want 24/7 if you follow the Cactus Music Instagram page.
Yeah, there's
staff
stuff
picks,
out there.
everything that's coming out, and the super kind and wonderful and kooky and knowledgeable staff here. If you DM them, we'll message you back because they message me back, and not everybody does. So that's saying something.
I like you.
That's right. So we're going to let you go. Going to do this again next week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We'll see you then, guys. That's the drop for today. Bye. Peace. Ringo style.